Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Saturday at 12 noon, and I'm here to give you another episode of From the Desk of Dr. Ron. I'm so glad you guys are here. As you can see, I've got another interesting one. The young people in Chicago. Stick around so you can hear what I got to say. The first thing I'd like to do is give a shout out. Every time I go on the air, I give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. And out of those 30 plus years, he has been a blessing to both me and my family, as well as I have been a blessing to him and his family. So I talk about having a mentor because it is truly a life's blessing because you have someone that can help you during those crisis times in your life to be able to help navigate and help get you to where you need to go. Okay? So I always talk about my mentor because I'm trying to encourage you to get a mentor, someone that you can count on that'll be there to help you and it can help your family so that you can be a blessing to both him and his family. He can be a blessing. It's a two-way street. Okay? So get you a mentor, somebody that you can trust to be there for you. So I want to talk about the topic, the young people in Chicago. All this week, all the week before, I have been getting calls from people from all over the country asking, what's going on in Chicago? What's going on in Chicago? And, it's interesting. I live here, in the suburbs of Chicago. I'm not in the Loop area. So the things that the young people are doing don't affect me as much as they do the people in the neighborhoods and the communities that they're invading. And it's just remarkable how people are afraid when large crowds of black people come together. They just get scared. Oh my God, all these black people. Oh Lord, I'm afraid. And they might not have done anything, just show up. Now, granted, a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weekends ago, there was a large crowd that gathered together and they took on a mob mentality and began, well, if she can do it, I can do it. So if you kick the car, I'm going to kick the car. So it turned into a lot of that. And I've been in several shows on this week talking about my opinion and their opinion and what should we do, about these young people. And I've come up with a solution all to my own that I shared on a show earlier this week that I'll share with you all. I say it. This is just me. This is not nothing I read nowhere or anything like that. But I understand that when you have young people that are out of control, you have to have a plan of action to deal with their being out of control. The first thing I said was, okay, in preparation, put some 53-foot reefer trailers strategically throughout the area where they have been gathering and acting a fool, and you turn the reefers on 32 degrees. I said 32 degrees because I feel like if you take a young person and put them in a freezer of 32 degrees, they're on ice. So put them on ice, put them in this reefer unit, and then you tell them, look, keep your cell phone, call someone to come get you before daylight. Now, if your parents come get you before daylight, then we're going to give you a curfew violation and send you home. But then you have now just documented a young person who has been participating with the chaos in the area. Now, if you put, enough people together in a 32 32-degree environment, they're going to start liking each other because they're going to have to stick close together in order to stay warm. Because when it gets cold, they ain't going to be mad no more, and they ain't going to be trying to tear up nothing no more. They're going to be like, Lord, help my mama and daddy get down here quick, fast, and in a hurry to get me out of here. Okay? So it gives them an environment to be able to think, like, man, this is crazy. How did I find myself in this situation? Well, you went someplace and you started acting crazy. Now, when you have a mob and you begin to start pulling out some of the violent troublemakers, you're going to run across some criminals in this group. So now you take criminals and you put them in paddy wagons, the instigators that are going to actually not be able to get out by somebody calling to come pick them up. Oh, no. You 32 years old, you going to jail. You down here stirring up violence and all types of criminal behavior, you're going to jail. But then you separate the kids from the criminals. Oh, you got a warrant. We're going to throw you in a paddy wagon over here, process you when we process the rest in the morning. But right now we want to get rid of these kids before morning. Now, if you have a child that's thrown into one of these trailers and their parent doesn't come, then you process them. Then you find out why their parent didn't come. And that's where your social service aspect comes into play. Now, the new mayor of the city of Chicago wants to execute and institute social services to be able to find out what the problems are with these young people. Well, it's safe to say there's not just one problem, it's multiple problems. So you need to try and find out what some of the young people's motivations are, what's causing them to want to be out of order and create chaos. And then you begin to investigate some of these things with your social services, then you can find solutions to some of the problems. Now, I promise you, if your child is downtown acting up and gets scooped up and put in one of those trailers, they're going to think about that. The next time they see a text come across their phone to say, hey, meet up downtown. Nope, I'm not going. I got put in a 50-foot trailer with 32 degrees. I'm not going downtown no more. You got that one on your own. Because it will deter future chaos. If you a young person who had to go through, and then my mama had to come get me too. Do you know how long I had to hear about that? Then my mama took my phone away from me. So now I can't even get to Texas. But when I do get my phone back, I ain't going to be going downtown with that foolishness. Okay? So it changes the mindset of, I'm going to go downtown and get into some mischief, get into some trouble. Now, let me say this. Chicago is not the only place where young people are acting a fool. If you go out and do some research, you'll find out that young people are carjacking all over the country. They're doing some of the same stupidity things that they're doing here in Chicago. And I would like to hope that young people or parents or grandparents of young people will sit down and talk to them like, look, if you keep on doing what you're doing, they're going to deal with you according to the crimes that you're committing. If a person is riding in the Loop area and their car starts getting beat up, they could easily say, I'm in fear for my life, and jump out and start shooting. Now, some of these young people probably got guns and can shoot back, but why is there a necessary shootout? Because of something stupidity that you're doing. And people have a right to defend their property. But keep in mind, you're dealing with young people, children, that may not have their full functioning mind at that moment. So you have to keep all those things into consideration. I would hope that these children would not continuously do this, because it's going to create a problem for themselves more so than for the city, because the city is going to solve the problems and by any means necessary. So you can go down there acting a fool if you want to, and I promise you, they're going to find a solution to deal with you that you're not going to be happy with, or your parents are going to be happy with. So think before you take action. You know, I was on a couple of shows this week, visit as a guest, and they were asking me questions, and I gave them my solution, about the trailers and putting them on ice. But I remember when, over the decades, watching police come up with creative ways to deal with situations. Just as an example, police would do multi departmental sting operations to catch a predator, or to clean up what we used to call hostros. Okay, they would go out there, put some girls out there with some pretty legs and big booties, and people be slamming on brakes. Hey, baby, how you doing? Didn't know it was the police. And now their car gonna get towed. They're gonna get thrown in a paddy wagon, and they're gonna be sitting there and embarrassed because now they got to call somebody to come get them out of jail because they said hello on a hostro. To catch a predator, television had made up a whole show to catch a predator. They were running sting operations where, grown people were trying to seduce young people, and they would go to their house with wine and a pocket full of condoms, thought that they were going to meet a young person to have sex, and wind up finding the police and a TV crew. So there are creative ways to deal with problems that we come up with in our society. So don't be surprised that if they don't come up with a creative way that might not be as creative as the one I suggested. It might be far more worse. So I would hope that parents and grandparents would want to stop them from having to live through that traumatic experience. Now, I got to say this, young people that we're dealing with now have many of them have a 20th and 30th generation crack babies. So they have mental issues and disorders that are not being diagnosed and dealt with. Okay? And I said this on the other show, and people got offended, like, oh no, crack babies? Yes. Crack mamas, crack grandmamas. There are situations and circumstances where we are dysfunctional in our communities, and we need to take control of our dysfunction and try and help them and not try to hurt them. So I hope that something I said today will allow, people to want to get involved. Now, I got to say this. I forgot about mentioning this part. Last weekend, the young people were scheduled to go downtown. So this lets you know that they do have some brain cells that's working. And a group of men decided to meet, black men decided to meet the black youth downtown Chicago. The black youth canceled their gathering. So if met with the proper force of respect, they said, oh no, we don't want to deal with no black men. Okay, we might get saved. Oh, we might get more than just be able to cut up food like we want to. So shout out, kudos, congratulations to all those men that appeared downtown last week to discourage chaos and confusion. I shout you out on today. Don't know who you are, but I appreciate you. And I hope that the call to action will continue to be a call of action. And that the young people, if you seriously have something that you want to talk about, find a person that wants to listen and then we can get to the root of the problem so that you don't have to act a fool to get attention. Hello? Because sometimes that's all it is. They just want some attention. All right. Well, that's enough for today. It was just something I wanted to recap my week. You know, people are really concerned about the young people in Chicago, but be concerned about young people everywhere, not just in Chicago, but everywhere. California, New York, Texas, Florida. We've got problems all over the United States. And we need to be prepared to deal with these problems by any means necessary. That is our future. Okay? You know, if you look at it like that, then you'll understand you have to invest in the future. Okay? So take responsibility, grab you some young people, hold on to them, educate them, help them through this difficult time in their life so that they can be a positive influence on generations to come. All right. So that's enough for today. I've been on here long enough. I want to invite you guys to come over and check out my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, the first thing you'll notice is that you have the ability to be able to click on the watch live and watch every live broadcast right here on the website. So you don't have to go searching for the show. It's right there on the website. And then while you're there, you can check out all of my advertisers. There's a list of some of my advertisers right here. So please check them out, support them. They help make it possible for me to do what I do here. Also want to remind you that I am on a show each and every Wednesday at 12 noon, Street News Now, on YouTube and on Facebook at noon, the Noon Report. Come check me out. And I also will be back each and every Saturday at 12 noon from the desk of Dr. Ron. So please come check me out. And on each and every Sunday, I do the Black History Moment. So please come by and check out all my shows. I want to thank all those that have made donations and contributions up to this time. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Keep up the good work. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Hit that little red subscribe button and let me know that you've been there. Leave a comment. Say something. If you agree with what I say or don't agree, please make a comment. Thank you so very much. I look forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow. So you be safe no matter where you live in the country or around the world. Please be safe.